Welcome back, mere Mortalites, to another round of the Mere Mortals book reviews. I have for you Right Thing, Right Now by Ryan Holiday. Good values, good character, and good deeds. And it's part of Ryan's Stoic Virtue series. I have done all the rest of the Stoic Virtue series previously, the Mere Mortals book review. So go back if you want to go check out and listen to me ramble on those reviews and the books and my thoughts and everything else. But today we're going to be talking about the fourth in the series, Right Thing, Right Now, all about these good deeds, good values, and whatnot. A couple of details, nice and just off the top to begin with around the book. Roughly 336 pages in length, 5 to 6 hours. But what sort of time frame that will take from a reading time perspective, late or mid 2024 when this book came out. So like a lot of Ryan Holiday books, it is very much a recent book. As I mentioned, it's part of the series, the Stoic Virtue series, book 4. Cool themes around this one: justice, final and most elusive one from a Stoic's perspective. He kind of wrote it kind of more specifically to his children, and I'll probably talk about that in the book as well. The tone of it, if you care for that, reflective, stoic in a general way that Ryan puts his books together, obviously comes from Stoicism, specifically Marcus Aurelius, and a lot of the content that Ryan sort of produces as well. And look, one of the notes I have here, which he himself says about the book, is it's likely to be the least read of the four, and I get why that might be, but possibly the most needed. So we've got a couple of bullet points here that I wanted to talk about and I'll explore, in particular about the book review. As usual, I've got a lot of tabs and things around pieces that I really enjoyed of the book. I'll talk about that in the learnings aspect of it as well. If you want to go check that out, go do that. It'll come out after the book review. But this one I'm just going to talk about the book in itself. So first one really is, it's not the flashiest book, and not the flashiest book in the sense of, if you compare it to the rest of the Stoic Virtue series, either you've read it or you heard me talk about it, or you're just wondering what this is a standalone. Justice in itself isn't a sexy, glorious topic that a lot of people really enjoy maybe talking, reading, discussing about. It's not the fun courage, it's not the discipline that you hear, which is, the fantastic reels that get put together, or the awesome background noise that comes with motivation and fighting and encourage and do things. Justice is a little bit softer, more long-lasting. Sometimes it's under the covers, but as Ryan kind of calls out a lot of the time, it is the really important part of it, right? It's the characters and the deeds, and you can have all of the other things: courage, discipline, wisdom, but without the justice or applying it in the right ways, it can become problematic. So right away, and as I felt reading it through the book, it wasn't flashy, right? And it was, in comparison to the other books from the Virtue series, it was more of a slog, for sure. It wasn't as interesting or as entertaining as some of those, maybe because the applicability and the stories are a little bit more historical in nature, and you don't see the results of good justice being done in the immediacy. Often it's more of those long-lasting pieces, and I guess the book suffers in some ways because of that. Now, could Ryan have made it a more entertaining book? Possibly, but that's just how it kind of sits, and I thoughts around it as well. The other note I'll probably said is, and kind of the trailer, is less adrenaline and more reflection. So it doesn't hype you up. When I read Courage, when I read even before the Stoic Virtue series, you're talking Obstacle is Way, Stillness is the Key, Courage is Calling, all these previous books from Ryan sounds tasty. You read them, quick little chapters, and you can pick up. It's very much a book that you can, all those previous ones, you pick up, you read 1 or 2 chapters and you go, man, yep, this is wonderful. I've been going back through some of them a couple of months ago, just reading on some bits I really enjoy. It's fantastic. This book is similarly laid out in, short, sharp chapters, and again in the 3 big sort of key areas as well. I'll actually pull up what those key areas is that he's sort of breaking them down. In the usual Ryan Holiday way, there's parts to it, and each one has got small chapters, morsel chapters, and it's the me, which is personal, the we, social, political, and the all is one, and lots of little chapters that current in within that. But This is definitely not a book that I would suggest you could go and pick up a random chapter and get hyped up for it. You want to go and reflect back on it. No, a lot of these chapters, one, a little bit longer than previous Ryan Holiday books. Two, it doesn't hype you up. It's more informative. It's historical. It's a learning in a piece that gets you to understand, why things happen, where they came from, who initiated or groups that made things change, to then find the outcomes maybe years later, maybe not even within their lifetime. So for that, it doesn't hype you up. You don't get as many takeaways. As I said, a little bit of a harder slog, but it brings some deeper learnings behind that as well. If for how, seeing as other notes I just put down there, the key thing, even so I said earlier, key thing that Brian even himself calls out is this book is unlikely to be the most popular book that he sells in the Virtue series of all the books. And he understands that. He understands that justice isn't sexy in that particular sense, but he talks about it in the usual Ryan style. At the very end of the book, he generally has a big piece around why he wrote it, some personal sort of notes around what was going on around the time of actually writing the book. And a big piece that he kind of called out was he really wanted to write this sort of book for his children, perhaps obviously more individuals. And it isn't a book that you might understand nor care about when you're younger, but it is something that eventually it becomes more, or you as a human, as an immortal, become more of the world, more of understanding, especially if you grow and you have kids, or you're looking after others, or you have the means and the goods to do better for the world. That's when justice comes calling. That's when applying good values and having good character is important. I guess paraphrasing him, Ryan, here in this book, a lot of courage, of wisdom, discipline. You build up to it, the skill sets and things that you do that you have to sort of build up. And it's once you have a lot of those virtues either set or agreed upon, that then it meaningfully applies into justice, in the values, the character and deeds that you perform. Sure, you do all of those things as you're going through life, right? If you're an 18-year-old, there's the same values and character and deeds that you probably want to apply in a good way moving forward, and the right justice, whatever you want to deem that to be. However, it could either be problematic, stressful, or just downright dangerous once you have the stronger courage, the influence, the power, the discipline, the wisdom. And then as that amplifies, how you apply it then becomes very, very important from a justice perspective. So that is why I think from a Ryan Holiday book, this book writing right now might not be the most popular, might not be the favorite. It wasn't for me. I ended up giving it, I re-rated it, started at a 6 out of 10, went to 7.5 out of 10. There's been a few months now that I've read it. I went, I kind of get the reasons behind it. This is not a book that you go back and kind of reread, to be honest with you, but it is something to sit on. And I definitely wouldn't pick it up to reread individual chapters, no way. It has a lot of key and interesting pieces throughout it that maybe 5 years, 10 years down the track, I would reread it. The only time I would recommend this book, so I'd also gift this book, it would be someone who's probably already in the path of, has built up the courage, the discipline, the wisdom, all the other virtues from Stoicism, and it's now starting to just make sure that, am I applying the right justice, the deed, am I aiming for the right thing? I think you can read this and understand it when you're younger, or juvenile, or just have them incorporate all those things. But it is difficult, I think, to then realistically apply, effectively that sort of philosophy into the real world. The other notes Cameron made there for recommendations, parent thinking about legacy probably would be good, which I'm kind of starting to step into there. Midlife readers, maybe professionals seeking that long-term impact as well. Otherwise, there's all the other books from the Stoic Virtue series are wonderful, awesome, and I've reviewed them as well. I thank you, Ryan, for attempting to do the book on justice. And again, the sort of style of stories that you would find in this book is around the years and the debates and the battles for justice around racism, feminism. There's also gay rights, a lot of political things. So if you're not as entertained or interested in that, you're not probably going to enjoy this book as much. You'll probably put it down. To give an example for my co-host Karen, I don't know whether he would actually enjoy reading this book, and I sat somewhere in the middle. So again, 6, 7.5 out of 10 is what I kind of give it. That's sort of my recommendations behind it. Right Thing Right Now by Ryan Holiday. Obviously, if you've read it, if you thought differently, if maybe I'm looking at it at the wrong angle, which often I can be, fine. Let me know, obviously, comments, send me a review. If you subscribe wherever you're listening to this as well, if you haven't already, man, I would really appreciate it. It helps us out to make better content, set up better scenario for what we're doing, give myself more time to go and read more books. If you've got a particular book that you want me to go read, tell me about it. You can help us out in all the various ways. There's Booster Grex if you want to go and use that sort of form. But as I said, comment, share it with friends. Really, really helps us out at the Mere Mortals. For now, that's my book review for Right Thing Right Now by Ryan Holiday. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you're well wherever you are in the world. Immortalites 1 out.